Wednesday Night Hoops is in the epicenter of college basketball in the 2025-26 season. Lincoln, Nebraska. Of all places, you'll find one of three unbeaten men's basketball teams. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are on the court, and Big Ten basketball is powered by Ram trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Nothing has stopped Nebraska this year. Washington will try. Tip-off is coming up. Good evening, everybody. Alongside my partner, LaFonso Ellis, I'm Kevin Kugler. We'll hear from Andy Katz in just a moment. Nebraska's done it in a multitude of ways with a multitude of different people, but Bryce Sanford's the guy that comes in red hot right now.
Yeah, the 6'7" transfer from Iowa was Iowa's sixth man last year, but he stepped into a starting role this year and has really stepped up his game. And if you know Bryce Sanford, or any of the Sanfords for that matter, you know they can flat out stick it. And he's been absolutely sensational, shooting 41% from three on the year. But his last two games, he's really elevated. 25 points a game, shooting 12 of 21 from three. He does a great job of moving without the basketball, in transition, spaces up, and he's such a high IQ ball player. And for the Washington Huskies, Zoom Diallo, he is the most important player for the Washington Huskies, has really elevated his game in year two, shooting the basketball really well over his last couple games. 23 points a game, shooting 40% from the three-point line. If the Huskies want to win this game, Zoom's got to have a huge night tonight.
Our starting lineups are powered by Ram trucks. Nothing stops Ram. The expected five out there for Nebraska. A change for Danny Sprinkle's Washington Huskies. Jacob Ognasovic, who came in as the transfer from Lipscomb, the ASUN Player of the Year last year, has been out most of the year with a camp foot injury. He is in the starting lineup for the first time as a Husky tonight. Time to welcome in the third member of our crew and say hello to Andy Katz.
Well, Indiana football was the story in college football with that 16-0 national championship run. You know what the story is in men's college basketball across the country, not just in the Big Ten? The Nebraska Cornhuskers, okay? The Iron Hen. This is arguably, with Mackey, the best arena, the best crowd. Look at this place in the Big Ten. 19-0 if they win tonight. Number one seed is on that horizon. Only undefeated team left in the Big Ten. Only three in the country. Nebraska men's basketball. The story in the game right now.
Don't tell Fred Hoiberg that, because we talked with him about that earlier today, and he said they are very diligent with their team every single day about making sure they keep those walls up and keep it inside this locker room.
Block out the noise and stay true to what they're trying to accomplish on both ends of the floor.
Zoom Diallo will start it up for the Washington Huskies. 10-8 on the year, 2-4 in conference play. They are without some key components in their lineup tonight. We'll talk about that as we go along. Kimari Peterson will try the three. Hannes Steinbach inside with a tough offensive rebound and put back one of the best freshmen in the country.
Yeah, he has such a nose for the basketball. 11 rebounds a game. That's number one in the Big Ten, and he's good on both backboards.
Here's Rick Mast. Sanford going to work against Steinbach. Hoiberg now with 10 to shoot. Back out, Sanford. With the shot fake, the runner for Sanford won't go, and Steinbach already a second rebound of the night. Here's Zoom Diallo. Trying to push into the corner. No room over there. Diallo will restart it.
Kevin, it's going to be so important for Washington to get out and try to score ahead of the defense. 13th most efficient defense in the country for the Cornhuskers.
Ognasovic, the extra pass into the corner, the three off the mark, and Hoiberg the rebound.
That's going to be a huge factor for them tonight, Washington. They've got to take and make open threes. I think they're going to need 10 a game to try to pull it off.
Here's a three that won't go, and Steinbach cleaning the glass already with his third board. To your point, Washington 0 for 2 from three to start this game. Diallo looking inside for Steinbach, deflected away. The extra pass is taken away by Lawrence. Here's Hoiberg on the drive inside, and that was a travel. That dribble came up on him a little bit.
Well, you couldn't decide if he wanted to Euro step or to go off the wrong leg, and that indecision created that turnover. He's got too much in the bag there, Kev. He couldn't decide.
What do you choose? Zoom Diallo now going to walk it up. You will not see Desmond Claude for Washington. He has stepped away from the team, out for the rest of the year, 13 points per game. You will not see Wesley Yates III tonight as Washington travels and turns it right back over to Nebraska. He rolled an ankle in practice on Monday, and Yates, who was out for a good month with a wrist injury, not able to go tonight, as you see Fred Hoiberg on the sidelines. Happy that Wesley Yates is not playing, and you will not see Lathan Somerville tonight, still battling the knee injury. The good news from Washington is that both Yates and Somerville are tracking to be back very soon, maybe as soon as this weekend against Oregon. Sanford hits the three, and Nebraska's on the board.
To stand in front of him is not enough. You got to get up into his chest and make him put that basketball on the floor. He is a lethal three-point shooter.
The runner rattles home, and Diallo puts Washington back on top.
I love the growth and the improvement of Zoom Diallo this year.
Marcus Lawrence exploding end to end and draws the contact and the foul.
Folks, watch as Price Sanford catches this basketball. I mean, you cannot give him that much room to get that shot off. You're just too close. And Andy Katz over there celebrating with the students.
Throwing the paper. Doesn't take much to get Andy a high five. Just throwing paper gets the celebration as Lawrence, the 78% free throw shooter, strong on the first. In comes Cortland Muldrew, and out goes Bryson Tucker. Good work, Andy.
Well, I'm very coachable, and the student section really helped me make sure that I did the right thing. You have to pre-rip that piece of paper, which is essentially your scorecard, to make sure you're ready for that first bucket.
On behalf of the Pinnacle Bank Arena cleaning crew, they're happy for all the work you did to pre-rip that paper.
Is that construction paper or is that writing paper? What is that over there?
With Andy, it's writing paper. He's a writer at heart.
That's a good point.
Peterson will trickle it out to Muldrew. 4 to shoot. Muldrew in some trouble. Tough fade away, and he gets it to go.
Yeah, Muldrew gives him a different look coming off the bench. He's so athletic, and when he gets in the painted area, he can just take off, explode, and shoot it over the top of the much smaller guards. Mismatch inside here.
Looking to get it into Mast. Gel in the corner, and this is Hoiberg on the drive to the rim. He was able to get past Peterson with a shot fake.
Yeah, Peterson had to stunt over, and in his recovery got off balance, and that was created that angle to the rim.
Here's Steinbach. Double comes at him, the ball poked free and out of bounds. Buchtengel the last to touch it. Danny Sprinkle talked a lot today at the shoot-around, the practice on the day of game, talked a lot about what he expected to see from Nebraska defensively.
Well, they do a terrific job, whether it's posting or you dribble penetrating to the baseline, they double team right away. And so you've got to be alert and make sure you're getting a quick pass out of there and getting it reversed to the weak side. And if you can do so, you can find some wide open looks.
There's Diallo, little crossover, the kick out. Peterson, good fake to the right, but the air ball caught by Buchtengel.
That door's still open out there. It was windy today.
It was. We were told the wind was going to die down, but maybe not. Buchtengel, the elbow jumper, gives Nebraska the lead.
He's so versatile. 6'9", 245, does a little bit of everything for the Cornhuskers.
Saw it against North Dakota earlier this year with a triple-double.
Yes.
Just the 4th in Nebraska history. There's Muldrew on a switch, picked up by Buchtengel. 7 to shoot. Mast comes out to double Diallo. Tough pass. 2 to shoot, 1 to shoot. They're not going to get the shot up. That's a shot clock violation. Nebraska's defense forcing the turnover and a timeout on the floor. 8-6 on Wednesday Night Hoops. The students were lined up for a long time. Why were they lined up for a long time? To have the chance to celebrate with Andy Katz. Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. Nothing has stopped Nebraska to this point of the season. 18-0 this year. the biggest surprise in college basketball right now. A number 7 AP poll ranking this week. Both of those, the record and the ranking, the best in program history. And for Fred Hoiberg, it took 7 years to get it to this point. But boy, what a reward so far for a Nebraska fan who patiently waited for this program to build to this level.
Well, without Rick Mass last year, the team really struggled. Had they had him, it would have been an NCAA tournament team last year. And to see where they picked up Adam, Price Sanford, who makes them maybe more deadly on the offensive end, this is a complete team. And defensively, they are stout.
Diallo trying to beat everybody down the floor, and he gets through Mast for 2.
Kevin, we talked about that earlier. It's going to be important for Washington to try to get out and get some early points in transition before that defense gets set.
And it feels like Diallo's the guy that has to lead that, right, with his speed?
So speedy.
Nice feed inside, and the foul called on J.J. Mandaquit in the mismatch. It'll send Rick Mast to the line.
Folks, Zoom Diallo is a burst of speed in the open floor, and he's got to use his ability to get out and get to the rim, looking for opportunities for himself. And when he draws 2, looking to kick it, and that'll create some easier opportunities for Washington.
You know, you guys talked about the injuries at the outset for Washington. I mean, we're just never going to see what this team's potential was. They went in the portal, and they got Desmond Claude and Wesley Yates from USC, Lathan Somerville from Rutgers. These were going to be major additions, and yet Claude was hurt at the beginning of the season. Yates, wrist injury, and now Monday in practice just turning his ankle. They're hoping that he can go this weekend against Oregon. Lathan Somerville coming from Rutgers. He was supposed to be a major player in this group. He's still not healthy. They're hoping he can get him for Oregon. There's supposed to be Somerville and Kepnong and Hannes Steinbach. All of that, all that pressure would have pulled off of Hannes Steinbach, who, by the way, missed 3 games earlier as well. So it's really unfortunate that the Washington Huskies will never sort of meet their potential with this group.
Well, you can see the pieces, and you can see the plan from Danny Sprinkle, but injuries have derailed what they wanted to do. Muldrew, the freshman, will try from deep, but off the bench, Braden Frager immediately getting into the act for Nebraska.
Yeah, those threes are going to have to come off paint touches. I didn't like that when it was early.
Oh, how about Hoiberg? So much growth in his game. Danny Sprinkle said today, how do you not make him a first-team All-Big Ten player? Inside for 2 for Kepnong.
Notice that one came off the push. They've got to continue to look for those early opportunities. Well executed by the Huskies.
There's Sanford working against Diallo. Mast will try from deep. Really strong from Mast, Hoiberg, and it's Peterson who takes it away for Washington. Doubled in the corner, Diallo finds Mandaquit. Peterson working against Hoiberg. Kepnong, offensive rebound. That won't go, and Mast cleans the glass.
He missed it, but it's so good to see him healthy again.
3 surgeries in 3 years on those knees for Kepnong, and he blocks the Mast shot, fading away from the big man.
Brings such tremendous energy and effort to the floor.
Mandaquit, tough skip. Nice touch save by Muldrew before he went out of bounds. And then the ball poked free, and it's Frager who comes up with it. 2-on-2, Frager on the run, now 1-on-1, and he floats it over Muldrew for 2.
He's got the whole game. 3-point shots, pull up. Looks a little gimpy coming up the floor.
Not the same thing, Fonz. Keep an eye on Frager.
And a mismatch inside with Kepnong if they can find it.
Switched back to Mast. Kepnong turning into the help from Jamarcus Lawrence.
Anytime there's a post catch, there's going to be a double team coming from the baseline. He's got to recognize that and make the next pass or go quickly one-on-one.
Here's Mast from deep. He liked that shot, started backing up the floor as it fell.
On that screen, Kepnong went back to the painted area, and you can't do that against Rick Mast. He'll make you pay. Shooting 36% from 3 on the year.
Mandaquit. Here's Diallo. And the answer from Zoom Diallo looks like he's poised for a night. 7 already.
Yeah, only shooting about 32% from 3, but 40% from 3 over his last 2 games. He's playing with a really good rhythm.
Almost 18 points per game over the last 8 for Diallo. He's been turning it up, and they've needed him. Here's Mast against Diallo, and Mast to the ring for two.
Because of all the switching that Washington does, those mismatches are going to be there all night long for Rick Mast to take advantage of.
7 for Mast. They haven't had to play him a whole lot the last couple of games, and had people worried in Nebraska about his knees.
Yes.
To the point where Fred Hoiberg got to address it yesterday at his press conference.
No need to put him back in when you're up 30.
Here's Diallo. 5 to shoot. Muldrew inside. Good find. Kept Nong with the hammer.
And notice that's a paint touch. Whenever this Washington team has been able to get a paint touch, they've been able to get a good look at the rim. You've got to continue to do that for the balance of the game.
Mast from deep. A little bit short on that long 3.
Yes, Frank Kepnang is tired right now, and that's how Rick Mast was able to get that wide open look.
Everybody waiting for that under 12 media timeout. It's late getting here. Here's Peterson. Good shot fake. Man to quit. The runner in the lane is good. And Washington back within 2 and a timeout. Nebraska with 10:36 to play in this first half. Huskers by a pair. Fred Hoiberg will talk things over with his group. Nebraska 19, Washington 17, 10:36 remaining in the first half. A moment ago, Andy Katz with Fred Hoiberg.
Fred, you didn't wait for the media timeout. Why'd you just call that timeout?
Well, we were fatigued out there. I just thought we needed to get it. Got a little sloppy there those last couple possessions.
And defensively, what do you got to tweak?
We got to get back in transition. They're really pushing the ball down the floor, and we got to do a much better job on the glass.
Thanks, Fred.
Well, and one thing that Washington was hoping they could do, and you've talked about it, those paint touches. They've scored 14 points in the paint against a team that allows just over 22 points in the paint per game. So far, Washington's been able to get more inside than perhaps they had hoped for.
Controlling the tempo of the game by pushing it in transition, and then in half court, when there's a double team and a reversal, they are pump faking and driving it. That's been a good formula for the Huskies here so far.
Cale Jacobson, Jared Garcia both on the floor for Nebraska. And it's Jacobson who finds Buchtengel rolling to the rim for a pair.
That's such a good read. Buchtengel saw that his defender was over near the basketball, and he's just cut right to the front of the rim. A good find as well.
Diallo. Now Peterson. Back out Diallo with a shot fake. That one started to slip out of his hands a little bit, just pushed it toward the basket.
He couldn't decide whether he wanted to pass it to the corner or take the shot. A little indecision there always leads to a missed shot or a turnover.
Sanford fouled on the 3 by Tucker, and he'll get 3 free throws. Let's go back to Berke a moment ago, getting inside for 2.
Buchtengel always makes really good decisions and cuts. And look at here, there was a miscommunication there, and he's able to just sprint right down the front of the rim, and that was a really nice pass underneath. He's a big-time, high IQ player and makes terrific reads on the offensive end.
Here's Bryce Sanford to the line. And a rare miss. He's an 82% free throw shooter.
What a big-time contributor he's been. You talk about a guy who was Iowa's 6th man last year, averaged 9 points a game, 17 a game this year. He's really raised his level.
Cortland Muldrew will check in. Well, let's look at Braden Frager again. He is not on the bench right now. He is not in the game. And
turned that ankle.
Yep, came down awkwardly there on that shot.
He turned that left ankle. It's going to hurt for a while.
Sounds similar to what Danny Sprinkle was telling us that Wesley Yates did in practice.
Yes.
So Frager not out there for the moment. Man to quit. In the corner, the 3 up and off. We've got a whistle underneath and a foul. Steinbach was underneath battling for the rebound. It'll go on Nebraska, and I believe Cale Jacobson.
Steinbach is an amazing offensive rebounder, and he just has a nose for it. And when you box him out, he doesn't just give up. He continues to move, which makes it even more difficult to keep him off that offensive glass.
So a second chance here for Washington, down by 6. DeQuitt will jump it to Steinbach. Steinbach with the matchup against Hoiberg. Everything but the bucket. Gets his own miss and able to fire it out to Tucker. Another opportunity for Washington. Boy, Steinbach talented. Mandequit on the drive. Through Jacobson for 2.
Offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities for the Huskies have been huge for them so far in this game.
4-0 in second chance points for Washington. Sanford's 3 is good. Bryce Sanford of late has had a knack of just settling things down for Nebraska.
It helps when you can stick it at the level that he has. 57% from 3 over his last 2 games.
And a little bit of confusion for Muldrew. Fortunate to get away without a travel there.
Yes.
On a bounce, it's Tucker. 6 to shoot. Fading away. Rebound tapped out by Berke Buchtengel.
It's a mouthful.
It is. For everybody.
Yes.
Including Berke.
And me.
Garcia in some trouble. Here's Hoiberg, 10 to shoot against Steinbach.
Nice job by Steinbach.
Garcia, open 3, rolls home. Jared Garcia's 6th made 3 in 27 attempts.
Something about being on your home floor that gives you a level of confidence that you don't have otherwise.
And a 6-0 burst for Nebraska on their home floor, and Steinbach inside. Oh my! Berke, a lot of contact, no whistle.
I thought that was a foul.
Here's Sanford, the 3. Off balance even for him.
The push here got numbers.
Can Peterson do it? The lob underneath, caught by the bottom of the rim. Tucker went up for it and got it caught underneath.
It wasn't a great pass.
There's a great pass. Sanford's 3 a little strong. How about Berke threading the needle with that one? In transition, Muldrew's 3 strong, and Hoiberg the rebound. Cale Jacobson says, how about we all breathe?
Coach Hoiberg's like, let's just settle down here. Those last several possessions looked like we were in a pickup game.
It did. And the results were if you and I had been in the pickup game at this point.
Yes. Got to get there.
Sanford's 3 is good. 11 for Bryce Sanford and a timeout. Washington.
Bryce Sanford, elite from the 3-point line. He's had several really good looks, and these last couple, he's just stepped up and drilled them. Miscommunications on the defensive end by the Huskies, and all of a sudden, Nebraska's starting to get some space.
Nebraska has opened up a 13-point lead, 6:48 remaining in the first half. A moment ago, Andy Katz with Washington head coach Danny Sprinkle.
All right, Danny, how do you find Bryce Sanford?
Yeah, I mean, we got to do a better job on our switches. We've lost him 3 or 4 times already, which you just can't do, not in this building. And our offense is leading to some bad defense. We're putting ourselves in a bad spot. You know, taking quick shots or some turnovers. You know, we have to have a little more poise and take care of the basketball on the offensive end.
Thanks, Danny.
You bet.
And folks, watch these 2 guys here. 1, 2. Oh, didn't show up there. Let's try that again. 1, 2. Watch those 2 guys. As there's not a screen here, and Muldrew points to get him there, and he's like, no, those 2 guys have to come together shoulder to shoulder, and then you switch. You just can't point switch because it creates too much room for Bryce Sanford to be able to get a wide open look off, and he's been drilling them over the last 2 possessions.
15 of 27 from 3 the last 3 games, including tonight, and the last 2 games in this building. He is 10 of 17 from 3.
Are you suggesting that he's comfortable in this
I
building?
believe he has found himself a home. He's getting a breather right now. Brink Mast back out on the floor, as is Jamarcus Lawrence.
Good chase on that action by Giallo.
Here's Jacobson, 8 to shoot. Jacobson baseline. The push to Lawrence. Extra pass. Hoiberg going to have to hoist this one. Out it goes. Buchtengel for 3. Used all the shot clock but couldn't cash in as Kepnon gets the rebound.
I thought Washington had an advantage, yet Coach Danny Sprinkle wanted them to run a play.
Peterson looking. 8 to shoot. Steinbach double comes. Out it goes. Diallo for 3. Good ball movement to find the open man.
Diallo's really playing at a high level. Folks, he shot 18% from 3 last year, and he's shooting it like he's Steph Curry out there tonight.
Ball knocked free, and Washington with the takeaway. Peterson on the move. The flip to Steinbach, and Steinbach couldn't get through Mast.
That's the next level of growth in his game, is being able to be physical and finish through contact.
8-point Nebraska lead. Sanford at the scorer's table, ready to check back in. Here's Mast. Diallo there. Double came from Kepnang. It's Hoiberg's three. Little strong and over the top of the backboard, but a foul. Buchtengel is down. He's fouled away from the ball. And that'll be on Kepnang. Saturday women's hoops excitement comes your way when the Huskers host Illinois. The action tips off at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
Just got this officially from Nebraska. Braden Frager is questionable return with a lower leg injury. Obviously, one of the great things about Nebraska's run to 18-0 has been, for the most part, outside of Connor Sejan, they've sort of been unscathed by a major injury, so they really can't afford to lose Frager for any length of time, especially with the road trip coming up to Michigan.
They're going to look at this previous play with Buchtengel involved. I'm guessing, Fonz, to see if it elevates to a flagrant one.
Yeah, folks, let's take a look here at Frank Kepnang here inside as this basketball goes up. Ooh. Yeah, well, it's really a good play there, and there's no elbow involved. I was interested to see if he got hit in the face because Buchtengel was holding his jaws there, so I don't think it'll elevate to the level of a flagrant.
No contact with the head or neck area above the shoulders. Just a hard box out. A little too aggressive, according to the officials. It's likely to stay a common foul. So a 32-24 lead for Nebraska. Huskers 5 of 12 from 3. Washington 2 of 7 from 3. In an ideal world, Fonz, what's a good number for Danny Sprinkle's team from 3 to be in games like this?
Well, particularly against a team that's got the 13th most efficient defense in the country, you've got to be able to knock down some threes. And for the teams that have been able to keep it reasonably close in their wins, they've been able to knock down at least 9 threes in a game.
So our officials huddling up, continuing to discuss this. They called a foul. They're not going to change that. Here comes the word.
After review, it's a common foul. Nebraska ball on the baseline.
That's the call. And Kevin, to your point, the last 2 teams that were within 10 points of this awesome Nebraska team, Indiana made 11 threes, Ohio State made 9, and Michigan State made 10. So you got to make at least 9 against this team to have a chance, especially in this building.
Sanford may make 9 himself in this building. Mast will certainly try to cash in. That's a little strong. Buchtengel with the offensive rebound.
Fortunate there, Steinbach laid on that screen.
Here's Sanford looking baseline. Sanford, tough 2, but he makes it look easy. 13 in the first half for Bryce Sanford.
He's got such a high release point on that shot that it's difficult to challenge.
4:20 to go in this first half. Steinbach. Steinbach, touch back out. Muldrew inside, the lob to Kepnang. Touch in the paint, and it results in 2.
Muldrew's done a really nice job once he's gotten to the paint. Is making some really good decisions. At times he's taking a shot, other times he's been able to dump it off inside.
Sanford cutting inside. Here's Mast around the Buchtengel screen.
Good D by Kepnang.
Really good recovery. Mast looking. Now Nebraska's going to have to reset 8 to shoot. Lawrence with 4 on the shot clock. Through that contact, the fade away, and he gets the home roll.
And Lawrence just gives them a different dimension with his speed and scoring ability.
Diallo. Peterson. That corner 3 won't go. Good punch out by Diallo. Second chance. Shallow lob down to Steinbach, and he's fouled on the baseline. And a timeout on the floor.
Yeah, Price Sanford showing us a little bit of everything tonight. We've seen his 3-ball, his pull-up, nice working in the lane. Nebraska up 10 on their home floor.
Coming up, the Wednesday night hoops tripleheader continues when Northwestern takes on USC. Next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Once in a while, you turn into a broadcast and we start our broadcast talking about certain players, and it doesn't pan out. It did today. It did today.
Yes, the most important player for the Washington Huskies is Zoom Diallo, and he's been terrific in transition in the half court. He's been patient, making good decisions whether to score, whether to pass the basketball, and Price Sanford has just picked up where he's been over the last couple games. 25 points a game over his last two, shooting 57% from three. Off to a great start tonight as well.
Be sure you put it out on the internet that LaFonso Ellis's two players that he talked about at the top of the broadcast are clicking early in this game. We knew what we were talking about here tonight. Yeah.
Makes me so happy.
I know. We'll be selling T-shirts. Fonz knew it. Coming up later on in the broadcast.
Assist from Kevin.
I'm only taking a clean 48% of the cut.
That's fine.
Steinbach's second free throw is good. 2 for 2 for Hannes Steinbach.
I'll need that extra 2% for taxes.
Exactly, exactly. Nothing if not generous. Andy Katz says he's taking 98%, which seems unfair.
Yes.
Hoiberg looking inside for Mast. Duked and Joe back to Hoiberg.
They have a mismatch inside. They're trying to get it down to Rick Mast.
Hoiberg, 3, rattles home. The growth in Sam Hoiberg's game on all ends has been remarkable.
It really has. His brother Charlie, former TCU student manager for Jamie Dixon, is now here, and I think he's been a huge inspiration to his twin brother.
Gotta be nice to have your brother on the bench to help occasionally with Coach Dad.
Yes.
Short on that shot, and Mast finds the rebound in his lap. Hale Jacobson with 2 fouls. Braden Frager questionable to return. So Nebraska's depth tested a little bit here in this first half. Mast, good feed inside, and good recovery by Washington, but it ends up somehow with Sam Hoiberg. Look what I found.
He's everywhere.
41-28. Coming up, stick around for the halftime show presented by State Farm. Dave Revson and the coach Bruce Weber in our studios in Chicago.
And we have to be careful for Washington. Danger zone here. They need a bucket badly.
See if Vandequit can provide it. He cannot. Rebound batted around. We've got a hold. Steinbach held up underneath trying to get that rebound, and it'll stay with Washington. How about the other end where everybody falls down and Sam Hoiberg grabs the ball?
Yes, I mean, what a great reaction on the inside from Cortland Mulder to be able to block that shot. And we've got bodies down everywhere. It looks like a little bowling alley down on that end of the floor.
And who picks up the spare but Sam Hoiberg?
I like what you did there.
There's Charlie. Grad manager. And inbound, out of bounds. Back to Nebraska. You mentioned it, danger zone here for Washington, and that can be compounded with another Husker bucket.
It can, and especially with how prolific Nebraska is from the three-point line. #1 in the Big Ten in three-point field goals made at 11 per game.
They are tracking to break the school record by almost 1 3-pointer per game. We've not seen anything like this to this point in Nebraska basketball history, but there's a lot of we haven't seen with Nebraska basketball this year.
Very fair.
And a foul underneath. Looked like a hold on Hoiberg. And Sam Hoiberg picks up his first, 4th team foul, and a turnover back to Washington.
It picked your turnover there because Rick Mast traveled. He picked up that. Watch him pick up his right paper foot here.
Whoops.
Oh, slide. Oh.
Either way,
yes,
it was going back the other way.
Indeed.
But Washington could really use some points here.
Need a paint touch.
10 to shoot. Vandequit. Ognasovic. Looking inside, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Peterson has to hoist. He beats the horn, but he can't get the bucket to fall. Buchtengel secures the rebound, his 6th.
It's interesting to see if Nebraska will go for 2 here.
Fast will try. Top of the key 3, a little strong. Rebound to Diallo, but a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Yeah, Fred Hoiberg both played and coached in the NBA. I kind of had a little mind sync with him, knowing exactly what he was going to do there.
You don't see it as often in the college game, but if that guy on the sideline has the NBA experience, you see it a little bit more.
Yes.
Ognasovic, 6 to shoot. Here's Mandequit, 3 on the shot clock.
Yes.
Crossover to get free of Buchtengel with the rebound to Hoiberg. 2 seconds. Hoiberg with 1 second, going end to end, high off the window. It won't fall, and halftime has arrived in Lincoln. Huskers shot 52% in the first half, 6 of 15 from 3, and that's enough for a 41-28 lead, holding Washington scoreless over the final 3 minutes plus. Andy Katz is with Fred Hoiberg.
All right, Fred, how were you guys able to extend this lead?
I thought we guarded better as the half went on. I thought we had a little more urgency on our closeouts, had some good stops there, and that got us out in transition.
I know you're going to have to check on Braden. Without him, how does that affect this group?
Well, it affects us a lot. He's one of the guys who really rely on both ends of the court. But it's next man up mentality. I thought Jared gave us some nice minutes out there.
All right, thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
A 41-28 lead for Nebraska at halftime. Coming up after the break, we'll send you to our Chicago studios for the halftime show presented by State Farm. Dave Revson and Bruce Weber are standing by, talking a busy night in Big Ten hoops. Nebraska with a 41-28 lead as we get set to start the second half. Look at our first half stats. 52% from the floor for Nebraska, 6 of 15 from 3. Washington just 2 of 9 from three-point land. And LaFonso Ellis, Nebraska got it done in a variety of ways in that first half.
It really did, and it's from the perimeter that I thought they were particularly good. And Sam Hoiberg is most underrated player in the Big Ten, and I just wanted to give him some love. He's really blossomed this year. After about 8 points a game, he's got 9 in this one, 12 points a game over his last 2. And what can we say about this man? Bryce Sanford is doing absolutely ridiculous in this game, finding his spots, knocking down his 3, pull-up J's in the middle of the lane. He had 13 in the first half.
Andy Katz, you had a chance to talk with Danny Sprinkle. What'd you find out from the Washington head coach?
Well, I can tell you offensively, a lot of frustration. I mean, their best player, Hannah Steinbach, only 1 for 4. They keep telling him, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to hunt for your shot. They need him to be much more productive. And then more than anything, it was defensively. That's what he stressed in the locker room. He said we missed multiple switches on Bryce Sanford that led to threes, free throws, and that has to be better. They showed tape in the halftime locker room to say, look, this is what we cannot do if we're going to try to come back in this game.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're pointing, and anytime you're in a screening situation, you want to come shoulder to shoulder and impact the basketball, and they've not done that, and that's how Bryce Sanford was able to get some wide open looks.
Boy, Bass can't get the roll. That hook against Steinbach. Huskers empty on their opening possession of the second half. And here comes Diallo and Washington.
Kevin, I'd like to see the Huskies get back to what they did early in the first half, which is really pushing with some pace and trying to get some early looks before that stingy Nebraska Cornhusker defense can get set.
Nebraska's got the advantage right now with that shot clock winding down. Nothing doing so far, and Peterson has to hoist the contested 3 with that shot clock winding, and a foul is called. It'll be on Sam Hoiberg.
Look at Sam Hoiberg's headband.
Somehow it fell off as he committed a foul.
Yeah, this is a mismatch inside with Steinbach, and Steinbach just used his leverage. I thought Hoiberg had really good inside position, but he was able to get an angle to the side. I thought it should have been a no call at best.
So see if Washington can take advantage of the second chance here. Ognasovic, that is what he did at Lipscomb. 41% from 3 last year when he won the ASUN Player of the Year award.
Yeah, he's a terrific floor spacer, and we said that in order for Washington to win this game, they needed to make at least 9 threes. That's a huge help towards that end.
Here's Sanford. Nowhere to go baseline. Hoiberg will try the three, and the answer from Sam Hoiberg.
He's picking up just where he left off in the first half. Had 9 first-half points, and he's shooting the basketball with a lot of confidence.
About 12 points for Sam Hoiberg.
That's what he's been averaging over the last couple games. Only 8 on the season.
Ognacevic, the jumper from short range, rebounded by Mast, and Ognacevic comes over to take it away. Kick out to Tucker for three. And Sanford controls that rebound. Lawrence will push in transition. His three rattles off no good. And the rebound for Hannes Steinbach.
Up and down we go.
We saw a little of this action early in the first half. Diallo trying to get it inside, and Steinbach is fouled. Well, Nebraska gave up a three, and Sam Hoiberg had the answer.
Yeah, I love Sam Hoiberg. I mean, he brings a level of toughness and an edge to this team, and he's just gotten so much better from last year to this year. Shot 36% from three last year. He's right on that with 37% from three this year. About 44% though in Big Ten play.
Up in your game in conference play is never easy to do. Diallo blocked off. Peterson cut. Nice find too. Ognacevic with the two. As he grows in this offense, Danny Sprinkle's confident he's going to be able to provide a real lift.
And folks, he's really just coming back into the lineup. He's been out for missed the first 16 games of the season. He's still learning the offense.
Here's Mast, a little shake on Kimari Peterson. And Rick Mast with the hook.
That's so good. Little drop step, little shimmy shake, and over the top. That was pretty.
Going against the 6'1" guard.
Right? Should be down there.
Diallo on the move. The feed to Steinbach, and he feathers it home.
Diallo has made such good decisions when he's gotten into the paint tonight. Some to score and some to pass. That time to pass. Right on the money.
Zip inside, Hoiberg down low, back out. Lawrence toes the line for a three. 8th of the night for Nebraska.
When you double team the basketball and you get the offensive player to pick it up, you've got to get out of there quickly. Diallo hesitated, and that's what led to that wide open three.
Diallo, he'll launch that three. That's short. Houston Joe may have gotten a piece of that. Sanford on the push. He'll go baseline. Opened up for him, and he lays it home. Largest lead of the night for Nebraska. Diallo able to keep it alive. Under 10 to shoot, and in the scramble, good look, but it won't go for Peterson. Offensive rebound, Ognacevic inside, and a foul on Lawrence. Huskers will go to the under 16 media timeout with their largest lead of the night.
Nebraska's so opportunistic in their scoring. They're able to get one off the offensive rebound by Hoiberg, able to kick it out for a three. Marcus Lawrence drills that one in transition. Bryce Sanford showing us a little bit of everything. Nebraska up 16 at home.
Back here at Pinnacle Bank Arena, Nebraska 51-35 over Washington. And just 4 minutes into this basketball, Braden Frager, one of the best freshmen in the Big Ten, he ultimately rolls his ankle right on this play. You're going to see here the way he comes down right there. That left ankle rolled it and ultimately had to go back to the locker room. Came out just now, right before a couple minutes into the half, and you see them praying with Connor Essegian, who is out for the season himself. So that's 2 players right now having a good laugh, which is good to have a little bit, you know, just trying to enjoy the moment of this lead. But yes, it's a serious business here with Braden Frager. We don't know the extent of the injury, but they obviously have put a boot on it. He is a significant part of this undefeated Nebraska team. What does it mean? It means obviously we're going to see probably more Jared Garcia, if not obviously the rest of this game, but certainly this weekend on this trip to Minnesota and maybe Michigan. So we don't know the status, but they obviously have put a boot on it for now.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. You can see the sadness in the eyes of Braden Frager, and hopefully it's not as serious as at least it appears right now. And because Nebraska's about to go into a real challenging part of the schedule. At Minnesota on Saturday. Don't sleep on the Gophers. Nico Medved's had them playing really hard.
Indeed.
At Michigan, back home for Illinois, at Rutgers, back home for Purdue.
And folks, I know it's a down year, but the RAC is a very difficult place to play. Talking about Rutgers.
And you're sandwiching that in between Illinois and Purdue. That's not an easy task. Buchtengel on the drive with the reverse. Berke Buchtengel with 6.
He was able to get Kepnang on his right-hand side and use the rim underneath to be able to protect the basketball. That's really well done by Buchtengel.
J.J. Mandequit. Peterson intercepted. Lawrence with the steal. Looking to push the no look to Hoiberg. He dropped it off, and it's a kick ball. Went off the foot of Cortland Muldrew. 20 to shoot. It'll be Nebraska ball.
Buchtendale able to get to his right, and Kepnang with a late response there and able to control him. And man, I love when I see players use that rim as protection and able to finish that on the other side. Put a little spin on it as well.
Here's Sanford through a lot of traffic. Now Lawrence with 15 on the shot clock against Kepnang in a mismatch. Hoiberg, hard dribble inside of the left hand for 2 more. He's got 14 tonight.
Yeah, got to give some love to Buchtengel on that one. He sealed his man on the inside to take away the help. That was really well done.
There's Mandequit.
Notice that basketball has not touched the paint hardly in this second half at all for Washington.
There's Diallo, gets it inside. Mandequit on the run, and that floats home.
Anytime throughout this game that Washington's been able to get a paint touch has led to a really clean look. Got to continue to do it if they want to battle back into this game.
One dribble to Hoiberg around the mass screen. Buchtengel was calling for it. Sanford on the drive. Good challenge by Kepnang.
Yes, made him change the arc on that one. Mismatch inside. Missed it. Still have it with Kepnang.
Can't get it there with Sanford matched up against the big man. Now 8 to shoot. Muldrew, the freshman from Arlington, Texas, going to work against Buchtengel. Tough shot. The air ball scooped up by Hoiberg.
Yeah, there's where he thought he had the mismatch with a much bigger player, and I thought he should have gotten that to Kepnang on the interior.
We've got a whistle and a foul before the Sanford shot, and it's a hold underneath on Jacob Ognasovic.
And Kevin, when you have a big that's willing to run to the front of the rim, it's so hard to be able to defend, because when you're in the middle of the floor, you don't know as the defender whether you should front, play on the side, or play in behind. And of course, in that indecision, Ognasovic just grabbed him.
I was going to say, during that decision-making process, there's about 9 other things going on, too.
Indeed.
Here's Hoiberg. He'll back out against Kepnang. And to take the big man off the dribble, dancing back and forth, drops it off to Buchtengel. Buchtengel trying to save it, and he calls timeout. No, but jump ball instead. Looked like he wanted timeout. He was calling for it. Instead, they called jump ball, and it'll belong to Washington.
Wow. Tell you what, against that dribble penetration, I love what Washington did. Quickly to the basketball and able to get on the floor. I thought Buchtengel called timeout in time as well. The officials missed that one. And the fans are letting them have it.
The fans did not miss that one when they saw it on the Jumbotron here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Diallo probing. Steinbach, look what he found. A little strong, though. Diallo trying to wrestle that rebound away from Cale Jacobson, and he knocks it out of bounds.
And that possession there, the spacing was horrible for Washington. You had 2 bigs, 6'10", 6'11", right next to each other. There was nowhere to go in the middle of the floor.
You sense a little frustration right now with Washington.
Yes.
Just looking at some of the body language and hands on hips,
Yes.
There's a little bit of frustration with this group.
I think the defense is causing it, because they have not touched the paint very frequently at all here in the second half, the Huskies.
Jacobson. There's Garcia. He hit a 3 in the first half. He'll try to drive on Kepnall.
Nice job, Kepnall.
Houston Gel. Back it goes to Garcia. Corner 3, an air ball, and Hoiberg there to catch it, and a foul. Sam Hoiberg, right man at the right time to get that rebound, and he draws the contact and the foul with 3 to shoot.
Sam Hoiberg does so many things out there on the floor that impacts winning. He's just a hard-nosed, tough, skilled young man. I love watching him play. It's
one of the reasons why Danny Sprinkle told us that he thinks he's a first-team All-Big Ten player right now, because he does so much to help them win. And a whistle and an offensive foul. Buchtengel charging into Diallo.
Yeah, he's trying to use his eyes to look off the defender. Zoom Diallo didn't go for it. Standing right there. He absorbs that charge. Coach Hoiberg can't be happy about that one.
You didn't buy that look into the corner?
I did not. That may have been the worst look off in the history of college basketball.
Steinbach got an open look, and he hits the 3. It's not been a huge strength of his game, just 28% this year, but it's something that Danny Sprinkle thinks he's going to grow into as a shooter.
Well, you can see it in his free throw shooting. He's got a really smooth delivery. Just needs to gain more confidence and get more reps.
Garcia seeing a little extra time with the Frager injury. Rolled his ankle earlier. Hoiberg back out. Jacobson for 3. A little strong. That rim was rocking. Somebody had grabbed the standard and it was moving.
Yeah, Frank Kepnall grabbed the net and it was moving. That should have been a technical.
And Diallo a foul on Buchtengel. Timeout on the floor. 11:30 remaining in this second half, and a 55-42 lead for Nebraska. (55-42) Nebraska. 11:30 remaining in the second half at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Alongside my partner LaFonso Ellis, I'm Kevin Kugler. It has been awfully hard for outsiders to come into this building and win, but it's been hard for anybody, outsiders, insiders, any-siders, to beat this Nebraska team this season. The #1 team in the Big Ten as of right now.
Well, they're so good, particularly on the defensive end of the basketball. They do a great job of corralling the basketball and keeping it out of the paint. You combine that with their prowess on the offensive end with their three-point shooting. You have a bear to try to be able to beat this team. 11 made threes in Big Ten, which leads the Big Ten. What a phenomenal team Fred Hoiberg has put together this year.
Washington trying to chip away. Huskers haven't scored in over 3.5 minutes. Inside, it's Steinbach, count the bucket and a foul. And here come the Huskies trying to track down the Huskers. It's an 11-point game with Steinbach going to the line.
It's a really well-designed play coming out of that timeout. Act like he was going to set that little screen and just dove to the middle of the floor. Price Sanford not ready and able to take advantage. An opportunity for a three-point play here.
Sanford's 3rd foul of the night, and that three-point play won't happen. The free throw pinballs out to Garcia.
And that possession is exactly what Danny Sprinkle told me at the half. They needed Steinbach to be much more aggressive, hunt for that shot, post up, try to get to the free throw line.
And Nebraska needs Price Sanford to do, well, that. 58-44 Nebraska.
Another opportunity defensively where the defense didn't come together shoulder to shoulder. That's way too much room for Price Sanford.
Diallo able to split about 3 defenders, but there's Cale Jacobson to scoop it up. Quick push ahead to Hoiberg, and Nebraska with the 14-point lead. Mast looking for 3 more, and he finds him at the top of the key.
So tough because as a big, you're trained to sprint back to the paint area to protect. But if you do that against Rick Mast, he makes you pay.
Timeout Washington. A 6-0 burst in 36 seconds. The 3 from Mast, the cherry on top of a big Husker lead.
Look, if you're an executive, this shirt is a must-have in your closet. I was tired of floppy collars and shirts with sweat stains, so I got the from.
Get 2 solar panels absolutely free. Stay self-reliant. Go the Reds.
What Nico Medved's done with Conference news and notes sponsored by Wendy's. And last night, some big wins in the conference. Michigan dominates Indiana 86-72. The Buckeyes, we talked about what Nico Medved's done with Minnesota. They escape in overtime. And how about UCLA? The game-winning three for Bilodeau to get the win over Purdue, 69-67. And you look at the standings with Nebraska, the lone unbeaten conference team with that Purdue loss. But Nebraska's still got to play Purdue. They've got to play Michigan. They've got to play Illinois. It's all going to sort itself out in the next month and a half.
Indeed. The Titans will be going at it.
And they'll welcome Nebraska to their party of Titans this year. Diallo, the lock down low, finds Steinbach. Out of the timeout, Washington's been able to put some good stuff together.
Yes, Cortland Mulzer, number 30 in purple, set a really nice baseline screen to free him up for that lob. Really well done.
Boy, Sanford trying to fight through some contact from Cortland Muldrew, and the personal foul on Muldrew.
This is so good, folks. You want to get your big on the move, and what you didn't see is he ran off of a little back screen there and able to get open inside, and I love the intentionality. Look, Danny Sprinkle saying he wants him to be more aggressive, and if you're going to be more aggressive, then you got to get your big man, Steinbach, some shots, and he's been willing to do that here in the second half.
And Steinbach holding his ground as Jacobson initially got by him and forces the turnover.
Goes right back to him.
Here's Ognacevic for three. A good look, and Garcia the rebound.
I thought he was just a little bit off balance. You can see him floating to his left.
Here's Sanford. Mass tonight in double figures with 12. Hoiberg against Steinbach, 10 to shoot.
Mismatch inside.
He gets it down there to Mast. Extra pass, Sanford, 4 to shoot. Jacobson on the run. The left-handed floater won't go. Steinbach the rebound.
Push. Diallo's been quiet this second half after having a really good first half. For Washington to get this upset on the road, he's got to get going, number 5 in purple.
11th double-double for Steinbach. Takes the Big Ten lead. Steinbach, tough work against Mast. Really good post defense.
It's a 25-year-old wall down there, 51 in cream. He just doesn't have the balance from waist down and the strength yet to be able to get that one over the top of Rick Mast.
And now Mast ends and the foul called as Steinbach reaches in to pick up his second personal foul. But Hannes Steinbach has just been a revelation. He leads the Big Ten, averaging 12 points per game in the paint. And as far as Big Ten freshmen go, averaging 15 points and 10 rebounds, that is an exclusive club that he is poised to be in by the end of this year.
Wow, Chris Webber, Chris Humphreys, Jared Sullinger. Jared Sullinger was a load to deal with for Ohio State.
Here's Garcia inside, and the hook pinball's home.
He's really got a nice game. We've seen him knock down an open three, and he's got some really nice pivot moves in the post as well. It's going to be special.
Steinbach into the corner to Tucker, and that three a good answer. The Indiana transfer on the board for the first time after an 0-for-4 start.
Danny Sprinkle told us early that they've been able to create some really good open looks out of their offense, but not been able to knock them down. That's got to be a confidence builder for the entire team.
Mast wanted it against Tucker. The skip into the corner. There's Hoiberg. Open three won't go. The rebound to Tucker underneath for Washington. Under 8 to play. Nebraska with a 63-49 lead. Tough lob. Steinbach able to keep it alive, and he'll work to the line for 2. That'll be on Cale Jacobson. That's his third, and a timeout on the floor. Nebraska leading. Washington trying to battle back. We've seen a lot of good things all year from this man.
Yeah, Danny Sprinkle wanted him to be more aggressive here, and he has been in the second half. But as a big, you have to have plays run for you, and I love the fact that Danny Sprinkle's been intentional about getting them the basketball, and he's really delivered in this game. Hannes Steinbach has been excellent with 11 of those points coming here in the second half.
15 points, 10 rebounds, looking for more at the line after the foul on Garcia, which was his first. Not Jacobson. They changed that call during the timeout.
You know, we all were talking to Danny Sprinkle about what his draft potential is, and you know, it potentially could be sort of late teens, into the 20s, and I was talking to a couple NBA scouts that are here in attendance, and they think it could be deeper. And so we'll see. Might be wishful thinking from Washington, but it is such a deep draft class, an iconic freshman class, that it may be the benefit of Hannah Steinbach, and maybe even financially. If he does come back, he certainly could use it, so you don't know what his long-term sort of status will be in Seattle.
And the NIL component these days has made returning to college very competitive. And so it'll be interesting to see what decision he makes.
Nebraska's going to challenge the ruling on the court, which is a Washington ball out of bounds. Crowd believes that the challenge is going to be a successful one for Nebraska.
The ruling on the court is Washington basketball. Nebraska has challenged that play.
Well, immediately Cale Jacobs had said, you've got to challenge this, Fred Hoiberg. And that looks like a pretty easy challenge to win for Nebraska.
I would agree. Ooh, wait.
Well, hold on now.
From that angle, a little bit different.
Get another angle at this one.
Wow. Initially, I thought it was off Zoom Diallo. But after looking at that now from that other angle, it almost like it's a bang-bang there. It's going to be hard. And if they don't have enough evidence to overturn it, the ball will stay with the Washington Huskies because that was the call that was made on the floor.
Boy.
Right?
That's much closer. That first angle we looked at looked absolutely like it was Diallo. Then the second angle looked like it was Cale Jacobson's hand. Watch it, and we'll zoom in a little bit, give you the chance to see.
Wow.
Is that Diallo that gets in there last to touch it?
Like, I think it really touched Diallo's finger last, but the question is it enough to overturn the call that's been made on the floor? And I'm not so sure.
If we could use some sort of photo erase and move Rink Mast out of the way, we'd really get a much better look at this from that angle.
I could try it on the screen right here.
Yeah, try it. Just try to. Do you have an eraser tool on your telestrator, and will that work elsewhere?
Let's see if we can get him out. He's out of there on that one, but we need the front view.
See, now watch does the bottom hand touch last over the top hand of Cale Jacobson? Rocking it back and forth here. And what touches last?
That's so
that is
the call on the court is overturned. Nebraska ball. Nebraska wins the challenge and does not use a timeout. Nebraska will get the ball
they've got a lot of looks over there.
Clock.
So 12 to shoot for Nebraska. Husker ball, and Cale Jacobson a smile and a sigh. Look at that. You saw Zoom Diallo going, it was that close. It was that close.
That's right.
So Nebraska will inbound with 12 to shoot. Here's Sanford. Turns the corner all the way to the rim. Oh, he wanted to throw it down. It'll go down anyway, and a chance for one more at the line. Bryce Sanford, his third straight 20-point game, and an emphatic way to get to 20.
Now, folks, we know about his three-point prowess, but he's showing us a little pull-up J in the middle of the floor, and this time he's got a box bench on his hip there, and I thought he was going to go try to lay it up. He tried to punch that one, and I'm telling you for a three-point play here.
I'm looking over my shoulder where all the writers sit and all the press people sit here. There would have been laptops flying in the air, and he'd thrown that one down with two hands.
Yes. I just love watching young players grow, and man, just to see his growth from last year to this year, 6 man coming off the bench for Iowa last year, and a significant role this year. He's been impressive.
Diallo getting things going, and that's one of the things you talked about very early in the second half. They need more of that from Zoom Diallo.
In transition or in the half court, he's got such terrific speed and can finish with either hand around the rim.
And got into the paint again, another paint touch. Here's Sanford. Mast looking, shot clock at 10. Working against Tucker. Mast trying to back him down.
No help here. He's a bull.
Uchtengel gonna have to shoot it quickly, fading away, and he's got it to splash down with a big smile on his face. Just like I drew it up, he said. Steinbach, he'll quiet the crowd with a three.
Well, he's been impressive here in the second half. Steinbach. Threes, finishing at the rim.
15 in the second half, to your point. 2 for 2 from 3, 5 of 7 overall. Buchtengel able to pluck it away to Lawrence for the open three. Pinballs out, and Steinbach with the rebound, number 11.
Diallo's fortunate there. He gambled. And his team 5-on-4. Nebraska wasn't able to capitalize.
There's Diallo. Steinbach out to Diallo for the open three. And Buchtengel able to rip it away from the freshman. Sanford, what a screen, all the way to the rim for two. That was beautiful.
It really was. Price Sanford does a tremendous job of moving without the basketball.
You saw it from Keisei Tominaga with this team a couple of years ago. One of the best cutters and movers away from the ball. Sanford's got a little bit of that in him. As Diallo dislodging Buchtengel into the camera folks in the first row. And Buchtengel holding his chest a little bit.
I think Diallo hurt us. He's been a lot more aggressive here over the last minute and a half offensively.
Buchtengel still holding the left side of his chest. Lawrence, the three will fall. Contested, no problem for Jamarcus Lawrence.
So many offensive weapons for the Cornhuskers.
We got Buchtengel in some pain. Sam Hoiberg limping to the scorer's table. He's got a wrap on his left leg. Braden Frager is out with a boot on his ankle from a rolled ankle earlier. Tucker, that one will not go, and mass the rebound.
It's been hard to generate any points for the Huskies when they've not been able to get a paint touch, whether it be in transition or in the half court.
Here's Lawrence. And that's tipped into the backcourt. It's tipped out of bounds, and it's going to be Washington ball. Buchtengel saying, I didn't touch it.
Zoom Diallo crossing over here, and a little big-time dislodge there. He's fortunate not to be called for an offensive foul, because he clearly used that inside arm to create that separation.
They are not going to challenge this. Buchtengel asking, should it be challenged? Should it be challenged? And Fred Hoiberg looked to the staff behind him with the iPads, and they said, do not challenge. So it's Washington ball. Agnasovic. 5 to shoot. Diallo against Hoiberg. Diallo going to work. The lob to Steinbach. Good play.
Off of another paint touch. Diallo's got such good feel out there, Kev.
Here's Mast. 15 to shoot. Lawrence and a foul. That'll take us to the under 4 timeout with that Zoom Diallo foul. 3:34 to play in Lincoln with Nebraska chugging towards 19-0. The top of the Big Ten, and our Mike DeCourcy projecting 1-1, 2 2s, and a 3. And there's, of course, a lot of time before we see what those selections are. But the top of the Big Ten has been especially strong, and one of those top teams, the top team right now, the Nebraska Cornhuskers with a 73-59 lead, looking for win number 19, looking for win number 8 in conference play. If they hang on, it would be the 5th most conference wins for an entire season for Nebraska basketball since they joined the Big Ten.
That's impressive. Because what I loved about the graphic that we just showed, and I'm very careful to say this, is all 4 of those teams have a legitimate chance to win the national championship. Good defensively, can score it. And I didn't think Michigan State could get to where they are without the ability to stick it consistently from the three-point line. And they're not a great three-point shooting team as a whole, but they have individuals on their team who can knock down threes. And that's what makes them so good. Defensively, they're solid. On the glass, they play with great pace.
Got a whistle and a foul on Jacobson, or rather on Jamarcus Lawrence, excuse me. Lawrence with his second.
So obviously, every game is judged individually, and Michigan does have better non-conference wins, but don't get hung up on the spread and their margin of victory. If you look at what has happened thus far in the Big Ten, And that's why I had Nebraska 1 in my power rankings. I mean, not just because they were undefeated, Michigan had a loss, but Nebraska has better wins in the Big Ten thus far than Michigan. It's not even close when they won at Illinois, at Ohio State, beat Michigan State here. And if you want a little comparison, Wisconsin, Michigan lost to Wisconsin at home, and Nebraska blew out Wisconsin on this floor.
So is this akin to you several years ago when you jumped on the Rutgers bus? Are you firmly on the Husker caravan right now, Andy Katz?
I am, no question about it, but I think I'd rather be on a plane because it'd be a long drive from Lincoln, Nebraska, I guess to Chicago or anywhere else that they're going to play in the NCAA tournament. You know, at least with the Rutgers bus, I could go up and down I-95 to my house and back to Rutgers. I don't want to get into the, you know, well, first of all, I'm not a camper kind of guy. I'm not going to get one of those big Winnebagos and drive across the country. That's more your thing. So I think I'd rather have the plane be on the, how about the Nebraska plane? Can you get that done for me?
Talk to Fred Hoiberg. He's got all the access to that. The good news is you don't have to go anywhere. You don't need a plane, a train, or an automobile to catch women's gymnastics when the Huskers compete against Minnesota on Saturday. Live coverage at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app.
Kevin, I think what will decide all of this in the next 5 games, this Nebraska team is going to be playing Purdue, Illinois, and Michigan over that 5-game stretch.
And what's the health of this team going to look like? Braden Frager's injury is going to be one to bear watching over the next couple of weeks. Sitting over there with a boot on his left ankle. We showed you the highlight. He rolled it early in this game, just 4 minutes in. His rink mass 3 won't go. Rebound by Muldrew. 16-point Nebraska lead. Coming up on 2 to play in this one. Diallo free throw line jumper won't go, and the rebound tipped over to Cale Jacobson.
After that really pretty move, didn't get the basketball in his hand properly, and it just rolled off the left side, which typically makes it go left.
This Nebraska team just continues to do things that most folks who follow Nebraska basketball did not ever anticipate would happen from a Nebraska basketball team. A chance to go 19-0 and 8-0 in conference play. They went 10-0 to start conference play in the Big 8 in 1965-66, and the health of Braden Frager is going to be a big key to how long this Nebraska unbeaten string continues this season.
Agreed. When I look at this team, they remind me so much of Indiana's football team.
Yep.
They're like a machine. They don't beat themselves. They're solid on the defensive end. They're shooters all over the floor. They space you out. They don't turn the basketball over. They are so disciplined.
Minute and a half to go in this one. Mass trying to find Jacobson. Extra pass. Lawrence in the corner. That triple won't go, and Mass trying to out-rebound Steinbach. Can't pull that one away from the freshman. Diallo on the move to the rim for 2, and a timeout taken by Washington. They're just going to substitute here. Nikola Japina checking in for the first time tonight, and now Nebraska will clean off their bench as well. You see what's coming up for Washington, and the good news that Danny Sprinkle told us earlier today, if you're a Washington fan, Wesley Yates III and Lathan Somerville are trending in the right direction to possibly be available as early as Sunday.
It could use Wesley Yates.
Yep.
Wesley Yates' ability to be able to create offense for himself and his teammates. He's a bully in the paint, a really good defender. They could use an extra wing guard, if you will, to provide some offensive punch to this team.
There is progress being made at Washington. Danny Sprinkle's team is getting better. We're going to get the chance to see if they can get a little health back, what they can do in the next few weeks.
I love the pieces that he's put together.
Jacobson baseline jumper, rebounded by Muldrew. Final seconds of this one. Nebraska about to go to 19-0, and a good find inside to Japina for 2. And Jacobson lost that ball. Turnover back to Washington with 35.1.
That's the one thing I can say about this group. When I watch this Washington Husky team on film, regardless of the score, it continues to compete. And that's a really good sign for a team that's been decimated by injuries.
Here's Diallo trying to find room. Pina with 9 to shoot on the drive, and the scoop for Cortland Muldrew.
Moses made some really nice plays on both ends of the floor tonight for the Huskies.
Ball tipped away, and Japina knocks it out of bounds. It'll belong to Nebraska with 15.2 to go. And again, for Nebraska, they leave here. They go to Minnesota on Saturday. They go to Michigan, back home for Illinois to start February before they go to Rutgers and host Purdue. But this Nebraska basketball team continues its magical run. Nebraska is 19-0. Wow. They are 8-0 all alone atop the Big Ten Conference. The magical Nebraska run continues in Lincoln.
What a great effort tonight from Price Sanford, over 20 points in this game, and Sam Hoiberg continues his brilliant play in his starting role.
And we'll wait and see what the word is on Braden Frager and his role in the next few weeks for Nebraska. The odds-on favorite for the 6th man of the year through the first half of the season in the Big Ten. Rolled his ankle 4 minutes into his experience tonight, and unfortunately did not return to this game. Nebraska was able to win without him, 76-66 the final, and the Huskers are now 19-0. The first Big Ten team to start 19-0 since Ohio State went 24-0 to start 2010-2011. Let's go over. Andy Katz is with Fred Hoiberg.
All right, Fred, remaining undefeated in the Big Ten overall, one of 3 left in the entire country. How'd you get this one done?
You know, I thought our defense really picked up at the end of the first half, and I thought we carried that through for most of it. Steinbach got loose. He's a hell of a player. Danny does a great job running good actions to get him loose. They got us a little bit in the high-low. I thought they outworked us a little bit there for a stretch, but I liked our rhythm. We got in a good rhythm offensively. We struggled down the stretch a little bit, but we'll take it. This is a great win against a really good team.
Braden Frager goes out. He's now wearing a boot. We don't know how long he's going to be out, but this team finds a way for someone else to step up. What is it about this group?
Well, I'll say this, Andy. This is one of the best teams I've ever had as far as chemistry is concerned. They just go out and play for each other. They're extremely unselfish. They make the next play. They're really connected on the defensive end. That, I think, was a big question coming in, is how could we get stops and with our physicality and rebounding. But when you have a connected group like we do, it makes things a lot easier. These guys, I'm telling you, they've been an absolute joy to coach. There's no distractions with them, and that's what it's all about. And I'll go to war any day with these guys.
We got to go to Minnesota and Michigan. What's the status of Braden going forward?
Don't know yet, Andy. We'll reevaluate him in the morning and have a better idea.
Appreciate it, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
All right, Andy, thanks so much. That'll wrap it up from Lincoln, where Nebraska gets the 76-66 win over the Washington Huskies to move to 19-0 on the season. For our producer, Glenn Hallis, and our director, Danny Douglas, for LaFonso Ellis, Andy Katz, and our entire crew, I'm Kevin Kugler saying so long. USC Northwestern coming up, but now to Chicago for a game break.